And here is the third video about the writing test 2 of the IELTS test. Okay, here's the fifth prompt. Before I even look at the prompt or the response, let's check out the word count. 265. Okay, so this is more realistic than some of the other ones we've seen before. Let's look at the prompt. Differences between countries have become less evident. For example, nowadays the same films, fashions, brands, and TV programs are found worldwide. To what extent do you think the disadvantages of this outweigh its advantages? Okay, so this is what we need to address. To what extent do you think the disadvantages outweigh its advantages? So we're going to have to discuss the disadvantages and the advantages, but then also give our opinion. Let's see what the writer does. Okay, so advantages are mentioned, and here is an opinion. Seems to be the first negative impact. Diminishing national culture. Okay. Even food. Alright, so ideology, lifestyle, cultural products. Alright, so culture seems to be the theme there. Second reason, but it's not clearly signposted, but this is the second reason. About the economy. Gap between rich and poor. Conclusion. It's a fierce as the prompt says. We take the initiative in international economic integration, but also have to take the initiative in fighting to prevent our distinct culture from cross-racial phenomena. So to what extent? Because here he says, or she, the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. But towards the end it seems to be more balanced. If I look at this, it seems more balanced. Take the good with the bad. Okay, let's see. Task response. Well, definitely not a 5, because it's not the prompt. The task in the prompt is not partially addressed. 6. Yeah, the conclusion is maybe not clear. 7. Clear position throughout the response. Well, no, to me that's not clear. So 6 is probably a good score. Let's have a look at cohesion. Let's get rid of these lines. Okay, we have some referencing here, referring to globalization. Hit again. However, this is some referencing. On the preservation of national identity. I don't know what this sentence is trying to say. Seems to be something missing here. Through globalization, policy, present, which okay, so here's a theme here. It's controlled by US. Seems to be US. Seems to be a theme going here. Globalization is just repeated so many times. Globalization. This is kind of repetitive. Globalization. Okay. Unfortunately, there aren't many synonyms for this word, but it does seem to be getting quite repetitive. For these reasons, okay, that's good. Start your conclusion with a phrase like that. So for coherence and cohesion, 6 is probably good. There's clear progression. It is a little bit repetitive at times. Let's look at the vocabulary that was used. Let's get rid of this. Widening international exchanges. This creates conditions for widening international exchanges. Widening. Broadening? I don't know what kind of exchanges these are. Strengthening mutual understanding. Alright, well this goes well together. Strengthening mutual understanding. It expands cultural cooperation. Okay, so we've got widening, expands. Expands is used correctly here. Widening, probably not. Broadening would be a better choice. Enrichment, that's a good word to use. Diminishing the national culture. Diminishing is good, but then we have this article, the national culture. I don't know what the refers to. Which culture is the writer talking about? Preservation. This whole sentence is a problem. I don't know what this is trying to say. Exerts a negative impact on the preservation of national culture. Oh, I see. This is not a sentence by itself. So it could be some punctuation problems there. Open door policy. That is very good. Erroneous concepts. Okay, that's good. Ethical standards. Harmful cultural products. At present, modern information technology, which is mainly controlled by the US, I'm missing article here, is hourly and intensively disseminating US ideology. Hourly. I think maybe constantly. Is that what the writer is trying to say? Constantly and intensively disseminating US ideology. I don't know why hourly is used here. Maybe they mean constantly. Global Americanization. I do like this word. Let's see. In terms of finance, few errors in this paragraph, but nothing outstanding. And in the conclusion, we have ideological again, but I think that was used before. As the proverb says, I do like the proverb, but I don't think that this is something that you can realistically be expected to come up during the test. Again, this is someone who just sat down and wrote this at home. Our distinct culture from cross-read phenomena. Okay, this last phrase I don't understand straight away what the writer is trying to say. But also have to take the initiative. We take the initiative in international economic integration. We take the initiative. I don't know who we is, but okay. But also have to take the initiative in fighting to prevent our distinct culture from cross-read phenomena. Okay, I'm not too clear on what the initiative is being referred to, but this phrase, cross-bred phenomena, that doesn't make sense to me. Does he mean multiculturalism? Possibly. Okay, so definitely some phrases or words are used inaccurately. I think too many to give him or her a 7. Occasional errors in word choice. See, the problem here is occasional. I think it's more than just occasional. So for lexical resources, 6 is probably a good score. Okay, let's have a look at grammar. Get rid of all these. Okay, let's look at the structures. Present tense. Present tense. But so far, just simple sentences. Even though we have this conjunction here. And at present, okay, here we have a relative clause. He's promoted. Okay, here we have passive structure. Present perfect. Present tense. Present tense. Oh, lots of simple sentences. What's happening here? Is an overwhelming advantage compared with most. Develop control. Okay. This is a good sentence. We take the initiative, but also have to take. Okay, so not a whole range of structures being used. Accuracy, good. Can we give him a 7? Produces frequent error-free sentences. See, the problem is with the variety of complex structures. The examples we saw here, like this sentence here, present perfect, passive, one, relative clause, is that a range? I don't think so. Too many simple sentences and the range is just not wide enough. So, grammar, probably 6. Okay, here is script number 6. Let's check out the word count first. Word count stands at 262 words. Pretty realistic to write this in 40 minutes. Let's look at the prompt. Universities should accept equal numbers of male and female students in every subject. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay, so we can see that straight off the bat. Now, reasons. Seems to be one reason. Another factor. Okay, so there's good signposting here. Another factor, but they really should have said the first reason or my first concern or something like that. Just better signposting. The statements. Okay, so there's a clear position that can be seen here. That said, I do think university should maintain a sign. Oh, okay. But this was not mentioned anywhere else. This is just snuck in at the end. All right, let's see. Task response 6. Some parts may be more fully covered than others. Well, yeah, here this is not mentioned anywhere else. Not very adequately covered. Presents extents and supports main ideas. main ideas are extended and supported, except right at the end. Can't get a 7. No. 6 is probably a good score. Alright, let's look at cohesion and coherence. Coherence and cohesion, rather. Let's see. There are, for example, okay, that's good. However, like I said, the signposting here is missing. One of the major reasons. Okay, that's good. Another factor. Okay, that's good. These statistics. What does this refer to? These. Let's see. Another factor, isn't she? Might not meet or kindergartens or humans. What? I don't know what these refers to. These are not statistics. These are just sentences, which I don't quite understand. Female students might not meet or kindergartens or females. What does that mean? I don't know. While the majority of workers in architecture are male. These are not statistics. I don't know what this refers to. This is fine. It's 2. On to job. Overall. Okay, that's good. That said, it's also good. For example, most employees working in nurseries. It seems to me like the writer ran out of time. This sentence is not finished. Okay, so there's some problems with referencing. I don't know what this refers to. Signposting is overall okay. So it's probably 6 for coherence and cohesion. Let's look at the vocabulary used. The lexicon differs greatly. Childcare, disproportionate, that's not bad. In engineering and the military. The military? Well, what does this have to do with universities? Okay, so this vocabulary is not really related to the task. I don't know why that's there. Recruits, not bad. I seriously doubt this argument. Doubt and argument don't really go together. Should have found a better collocation. Doubt this claim. Carry out the proposal is that high needs. One of the major reasons why I think that it's impractical to carry out the proposal is that high needs. I don't know what this means. High needs what? There seems to be a clause missing here. It is hard to make sure that students are taking the courses which best suit their needs and goals. Okay. I don't meet or kindergartens, like I don't know what this is. Kindergartens are females. What is he saying? Workers in architecture are male. Again, statistics, I don't know. These are not statistics. Hunt a job. No, find a job, not hunt a job. In their own field when they complete their degree. Mandate's good. It's at odds with it. That's a good phrase. A somewhat balanced ration? I think they want to say ratio. Okay, we'll disregard the last sentence because it's not finished. Who's working in nurseries? I don't know if this person is trying to say nursery schools, perhaps. I don't know. Vocabulary. Is it limited? No, I wouldn't say it's minimally adequate. Some inaccuracies. See, the It's here, some. How many some? There were quite a few. But they do not impede communication. Well, this impeding communication refers to word formation. Problem here is word choice. I wouldn't say that it impedes communication. I can generally understand what he's saying. These word choices. There's this case here, neither can words. Here I really don't understand. This is impeding communication. But it's a pretty isolated event. So 6 is probably a good score for lexical resources. Let's look at the vocabulary. Okay, we have present tense. We have these two sentences joined with while. So we say, okay, that's just a simple sentence. Simple sentence. Okay, here we have even if, the conditional. Another factor is present tense. This conjunction. Let's try error. Overall. Okay, so we have some conjunctions used to make compound sentences. So it's not, this is vocabulary. I wouldn't say it's a variety of sentences. A mix is probably a better way of describing what this person did. So probably 6.